I have a crazy theory on where Michael Myers is going to be in Halloween Ends and what his mask is going to look like. Let's get into it.
What's your favorite scary movie? Amen.
We'll tear your soul apart.
Well, I'm Pennywise the Dancing now.
Oh, Lord on the beast!
God, don't do that.
But sometimes death is better.
Hey everybody, what's up? KillJoy Jake here, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. Today, I have been waiting to share this theory for you for a long time. I've kind of teased it a little bit on some live streams, but I'm very excited to talk about my theory on where Michael Myers has been over the past 4 years and what his mask is going to look like in this film. It's all going to relate. We'll get to it in a sec. But before I do that, I'm going to need y'all to like this video and subscribe for more horror content, pretty much daily. For the most part. Getting into this though, the biggest thing we have to talk about with Halloween Ends is the fact that there's a 4-year time gap between kills and ends. And if you've been watching a lot of Halloween Ends content, you have probably heard that a lot. But that's a big factor as into why I think the mask is going to look a little different this time around. It's probably going to look a little more deteriorated, broken down over like the past 4 years or so. My only problem with that is I just hope it doesn't look like the Rob Zombie Halloween 2 mask, where it's basically falling off of his face. I hope that if they go this route with the mask being deteriorated and ripped apart into shreds, and maybe they reference the Rob Zombie films, that Michael would get a new mask that looks similar to his, but a newer version of it. Because the burn mask is cool. Like, I mean, I got it on my set back there. It's one of my favorite Michael masks, and it's sick. But I'm almost kind of hoping we return back to Michael Myers having the regular mask, how it looked back in 2018, or just like a fresh looking mask that looks, or maybe even back to the 78 film. But obviously this time around, maybe it has some kind of new design or something. Maybe people are in the town of Haddonfield are wearing Michael Myers costumes. And here's my theory as to how he might be able to get a mask back, like a new mask, for example, instead of just walking into a Halloween shop because, you know, the guy's kind of wanted for murder. And I don't think he's going back to prison. This has been a theory online about like, oh, he's gonna go back to prison, he's gonna escape again. That would be redundant. We did that 2 movies ago. Let's not do it again. And also, we've done it in a shit ton of movies at this point. It's like the plot of just about every single Halloween film up until Halloween Kills, pretty much, because that one's a little different, which is cool. So I don't think Michael is going back to prison. We've seen that happen so many times. And the working title for this movie, when they were shooting it in Savannah, Georgia, filming has wrapped, as you know from my last video, the secret name of the film was Cave Dwellers. Now, Cave Dweller, I mean. Could Michael be living in a cave? Now, my theory originally was that he'd be living in the sewers, he's biting the heads off of rats, surviving down there and all that, and that's creepy as hell. But something I learned recently about Illinois is that they are known for their wide array of cave systems throughout the entire state. It's a massive tourist attraction, and you could play off of that a little bit, because Haddonfield is located in Illinois. So, could Michael have escaped to like a nearby cave system out in the middle of the wilderness, and maybe that's where he's been surviving for the past 4 years, living off of the land, like Jason style, essentially? I think that would be sick. You could see this savage version of Michael Myers living out in the woods that would just be so depraved and so messed up. He's like pooping in a bucket and all that. I would love to see that version of Michael Myers. I don't think he's ever had a shower, to my knowledge. I mean, the guy's had a haircut, so like there's that, but I think like having he would have longer hair. He's been living on his own for 4 years and been hiding in a cave. He gets attacked in the woods because he has to have some kind of reason to come back to Haddonfield, come after Laurie Strode again, because as we learned in the last 2 David Gordon Green films, he's not exactly going after Laurie Strode. That's never been his goal. He just wants to go home. The one thing we did learn about Halloween Ends recently is that Laurie Strode demolished the house. So there was some kind of scuffle as to where Michael Myers ended up in like a wilderness, in my crazy theory, that is, after his house got broken down by Laurie Strode. That's confirmed to be happening in Halloween Ends, or maybe has happened prior to the events of Halloween Ends. That would make sense. Probably happened that Halloween night in 2018, and then in Halloween Ends, we see like the aftermath of that, Michael returning to Haddonfield and somehow getting in the path of Laurie Strode once again. I think it would be a really cool scene in Halloween Ends if we have some trick-or-treaters escaping to a nearby cave, or because there's a monster that lives down there or something, and they dare somebody to go in there. They all get attacked by Michael Myers, of course, and get killed. David Gordon Green is known, and obviously he's known for a lot of the stoner movies he's done in the past, but something I've noticed a lot about the last 2 Halloween movies is that he likes to focus on characters we just met, have a silly scene with them so we care about them, and then kill them, which is really good setup, and he uses it a lot throughout Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills, and I don't mind it one bit. It makes for a lot of great side characters in the town of Haddonfield, and I think we could see that in some trick-or-treaters who are maybe a little older to be trick-or-treaters. I think it would be almost cooler if we could see like internal struggle there with like some 16-year-olds, for example, who are trick-or-treating still, and maybe they're talking about like how, oh, we're getting a little old for this. You could derive some humor from that. It would only make sense from David Gordon Green, and then for them to go and like dare each other to go into this creepy cave, and there's a monster that lives in there, and then of course Michael attacks and kills all of them, which would be a really cool scene. And then maybe one of them is wearing a Michael Myers costume, because that is how teenagers like to take on problems, is they like to make it worse and just make it a big thing, like dress up as the killer or make fun of it and all that. We see that in real life a lot. So I think that would be really cool if one of them was dressed up as Michael Myers, and maybe some of their friends are like, that's kind of distasteful, dude. Like that was 4 years ago that happened, and he has a fresh Michael mask on, and then that's how Michael could essentially get a brand new mask for this film. Something I've really appreciated about Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills is that he has a different variation of the mask in both movies. Obviously, he's burned. It's the same mask from Halloween 2018, but it's burned. It looks cool. And then in Halloween 2018, you have this older, like broken down version of the mask. So it's already like 40 years old. It's supposed to be the mask from the original film, and now it's 4 years later after he's been living in the woods with it for all this time. Has it been on him the whole time? Has he just kept it in a corner of his cave? That's a question we have yet to have answered, but I'm gonna say it's probably a lot more deteriorated than it already was in Halloween 2018. And it was burned in Halloween Kills. In this movie, I feel like it gets ripped to shreds for some reason, and then he has to now adopt a new mask. Could it be the same like mask from a similar kind of mask? Because yeah, it has to be, because if it's a fucking clown mask or something, again, like in reference to Halloween 1978, that'd be bizarre to basically not have Michael Myers walking around with his iconic mask on. I would have a problem with that personally. So I want him to have the Michael Myers mask, and I think he could get it off of some trick-or-treaters, and I don't think that's too far of a stretch. Michael has gotten a mask in different movies in ways that are way lazier than that, I think. So that I'm okay with. I would be so down for that. What do you guys think about my crazy theory, though? Leave me something about it in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching this crazy theory video on what Michael Myers has essentially been doing for the past 4 years in the little time gap. I really hope he doesn't go to prison. That's the biggest thing. Even if I'm completely wrong, I don't care. I just don't want him to go back to prison and have to escape again. That's gonna be 30, 20 minutes of screen time that it's just redundant and unnecessary. So I've got my fingers crossed that's not the case. What do you guys think, though? Obviously, leave that in the comments below. Thank you for watching. If you can, support my Scream fan film. The link for that will be in the description below as well. And as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.